Yeah, hit that.
I think we're going. I think we're live. May or may not be live.
Okay.
Just need a double check. Alright. Oh yeah, we are. Sweet.
All right.
Okay.
Ooh,
Let's just give some time for people.
already one person?
What?
Oh, actually. Hello, Tactics. Oh, hello, Killer.
Hello. Welcome. Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome.
There's
Oh my
people
God.
joining.
There's people.
There are people.
They're real people.
Oh my God.
Get psyched.
Yeah, let's get hype. Let's do this.
I should probably prepare.
Yeah, we're gonna be getting started soon, guys. So just hang tight for a couple minutes, and then we're gonna start the stream and get all this stuff. It's gonna be recorded. We're gonna give out some tickets at the end. It's gonna be a good time.
Have the best time.
A little bit of something, something. So just sit tight. And we'll get going.
Yeah.
We'll start in like 2 minutes. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do that.
Sure.
And then
While you wait, invite your friends. You know, we like you. We like your friends.
you have some friends.
Anyone out there?
Yeah. Tell your friends we got some cool people here. We're gonna chat with.
Nada area. If you're gonna go to Nada area. Like
Oh, we got Mimmer. Mimmer's in the house. What's
Yeah.
going on?
right where you're from. Where are you from?
Zane.
Yeah, everybody in the chat group, kind of, you can introduce yourself if you're a new artist or you're an industry pro. You know, let us know. If you're industry pro, or we're just gonna book it out of here because we don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we will have to ban you from the live stream.
Yeah, you can't come in here, man.
Exactly. So, yeah, we'll definitely have some fun. Yeah, we'll get started in like one more minute. Got Louisiana. It's Matt English from your class of music. What's up, Matt? There you go.
Nice.
Got people in here. So, there you go. Have a good time.
Spain.
Oh, Brad. What's good, Brad?
Yeah.
Bread.
Hey, what's going on, man?
And our main man, Zane.
Yeah.
From Toronto.
Mm.
Toronto, Ontario, the 6.
Yep, you don't pronounce the second T. You sound
Toronto.
like Toronto.
Oh, you're right. Toronto.
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 Learn squared.
Learn
Oh,
squared.
wow.
Ooh.
Special guest,
Oh,
guys.
Here we go.
Oh my god, things are getting legit.
Industry pros. Okay, I'm gonna
All right.
just
We're gonna end
Okay,
the stream now.
the stream is
It's been
over.
good.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone.
I guess it's time, right? Should we start? Should we get ready for this?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do it.
All right, so start the recording. Welcome to an Edge Control live stream.
Welcome.
This is Kalen Chock, and who I have here with me today, I got Denzel.
Yes, sir.
Denzel. We got Zabi,
Hello. Yeah.
and we got Frank Hong, who's going to be doing some amazing paintings that will not be
Oh.
filming.
Oh,
No pressure.
I am here. I don't know about the amazing painting though. I don't think that guy's here yet.
And we have John Ribera kind of lurking around in the background. He's somewhere in the shadows, wherever he may be. But this is Edge Control, and this is an event that's going to be happening in September. And this is an event that's put on by Denzel and Zabi, and we're here to kind of promote the event and talk about it, do some painting. And at the end, we're going to be giving away a couple of free tickets. So if you are in the Toronto area, this is definitely an event that you don't want to miss, and something that we've been working together on. And I think it's going to be pretty cool. So what we could talk about before right now is Denzel, Zabi, maybe how you guys kind of met, or how did this event kind of come together?
How we met,
Definitely
How?
how it all started. Oh
How
man,
it all
that's going
started.
way back.
Okay. How many years ago? 8, 9 years ago?
Ugh, that's a long time. Yeah, about eight years since we've known each other, and it's been.
That's a long time.
It is a long time. It's crazy. And we got into concept art in like high school or like late high school when we like discovered Fengzi's videos and like we were immediately like, oh, this is so cool. We have to do this.
It's
And
amazing.
This
yeah,
is it.
this is it. So, but I don't know what else happened during that time.
Well, during the
Tell me
time,
how the event is. Tell me how did we get this event? How did we get here?
Okay.
How did
It was mainly because of you, to be honest.
yeah,
'cause,
Kalen,
like,
you're the man.
we were
Yeah, Kalen.
we were in your live stream, and you were talking about how like, oh yeah, we just had an event, and like, or we're gonna have an event in Barcelona, and like you could totally bring us out to your own city and whatever. You just had to buy us some burritos, and we were like, oh shit, that's like nothing. We could do it. Let's do it. That'd be cool. I want to meet cool people. So. Yeah, so we thought, all right, this is gonna be so easy, just burritos and yeah, and buy some
Oh,
plane tickets
no.
and a hotel, and like that's it.
Yeah, pretty good idea, right?
Yeah.
It's not just a burrito, guys.
It's my fault. I put this upon myself.
Oh yeah. So, the
And all
reason-
you wanted was just one lunch, one burrito.
that's
Yeah, I love burritos, man.
Well, it's a lot of traveling for one burrito.
It's worth it. I mean,
We might have to get you guys to take a few to go.
Yeah, definitely down for that. Well, you're right. We did have the Barcelona event, and that event was awesome.
Mhm.
Met a lot of great people. It was really fun. Shout outs to the school over in Barcelona. Shout outs to Brian Deacon for helping us get that event. And with that, I think we definitely learned a lot, and we're definitely now excited moving forward to start having more of these things. You know, I mean, there are so many there's so many good artists in Canada that
Yeah.
in my lifetime, and it kind of boggles my mind why you guys don't have like a yearly event. You know,
Right.
what is that?
which is another reason why we want to continue striving towards making this event happen. There is an event by
Yeah, school.
that happens by Schoolism,
Right.
which is wonderful. But once a year, one event that's specifically for concert, that's not enough. We think we need
Yeah.
more.
I,
We have a
I-
lot of people here.
I love the event earlier this year, but like you said, it's just one event, and also I feel the guests they have is more visual development. So Toronto is more like a city that's well rooted in animation and any kind of 2D or visual development. So there are plenty of artists here, but I haven't really seen so many concept artists or more into like. I mean, there's game for Ubisoft, but outside of that, there's not too much artists in Toronto that kind of have a thing going on.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, so like this event will probably bring out more people who has the interest in like game concept art and film concept art, and then these people will know each other, and then we can talk, and I think that'll be the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, that's what we hope to do. Anyway.
Good time, man. I mean, for us, you know, Robot Pencil has been kind of it's a fairly new company. I mean, me and AJ have been AJ and John have been kind of riding this wave of the of this company, and we haven't really sure what it can be yet. I mean, we kind of focus a lot on you know, teaching, and we focus a lot on education and bringing and consulting and stuff like that. But one of the things that I feel like we've definitely grown a lot with over the year is kind of just bringing people together. I think that's definitely something that I would love our company to kind of focus on.
Yes.
And I feel like we were able to kind of achieve that with Barcelona. I mean, there were a lot of people in Spain that came out. I mean, I used to live in Spain, and I got to meet like a lot of great artists that it was crazy to see what kind of talent was out there, but there was no platform for them to kind of share their work or meet other people. And that was just kind of crazy to me. And I think where Raw Pencil can definitely really strive in the future is definitely just community development. We started doing things called like mixers. I don't know if you guys ever heard of those.
Yeah.
We were doing kind of Robot Pencil mixers, and all that really was us just helping like get a venue where friends can meet. Because I'm sure you guys kind of working professionally, I mean, it takes a lot out of you. The years go by so fast, and you may not see your friends. If they're at a different studio, you may not see them for years at a time, just because you're just in that zone of just working, you know, 24/7. And and sometimes it's hard to see one person at a time. So we were like, well, why don't we just create an event where all of our friends will go to it, and then that way we can kill, two birds with one stone. We can literally see all of our friends. And so all we did was started charging like $10, and we don't make any money off the event. All that would do was pay for the venue, because the venue would cost like, you go to like a Dave and Buster's, rent out like a room, it costs like $1,000. So all we needed was like 100 people to buy the ticket. And after that, anything extra that we had, we would just, buy alcohol and buy food or whatever. And anything extra after that would be saved for the next event. And so it's kind of a place where what we were doing wasn't really anything amazing. It's just the fact that we had to go find a venue, get everything organized, which, as you guys know, can be a lot of work.
Yes.
A lot of work.
To
For
make,
sure.
to make events happen. And so I think we're definitely really excited to be a part of this kind of Toronto deal. And I think it's going to be fun to kind of help bring people together. That's kind of, I think it's something that we've done really, really good at Robot Pencil, is we've helped bring people that are like-minded in their fields of passion or their career, and help them meet other people. And that's actually led people to jobs, to schools, to places that they normally wouldn't have gone had they had not been to the event. And I think that's where that's going to be really, really positive, for you guys. I think it's going to open up to a whole world. And one of the things that we love to do with our workshops is we love to highlight local artists. It's not just about us bringing out some of the top names and having them show off, but it's also important, I think, to show what you guys are up to, and show what the artists that are locally doing, because there are a bunch of talent. There's more to life than the 4 or 5 big names you see in the art station. There are a lot of talented people that may not get that much shine for whatever reason, and we want to highlight those people too, and we want you to kind of tell your story so that the local people can see, wow, you're someone that's from where I'm from, and you're doing these awesome things. How did you get there? And hopefully, that story will help, empower people and help inspire others to, to want to pursue their dreams. And I'm not sure do we have anyone in the Spain, from Spain, in the chat right now? I mean, hopefully if someone's in here, they can attest to the event in Barcelona and tell you how popping it was. So, I mean, Canada, get ready. I mean, who do we have on the lineup, guys? Who do we have like on this workshop?
We got you two, first of all, and we got Mr. Anthony Jones, and we got 2 people who work at Blizzard, Jamal Kindred and John Polidoro, and then the man, Mr. Dan Levisi. Man, I'm mad excited to meet those people.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be awesome, because John Polidoro's Overwatch. I've been playing that game way too effing much.
That's bad. People have been sucked into that game.
Yeah, don't know Jamar.
I've seen people disappear.
I just can't believe how polished the game is. I can't stop playing
It
it.
is.
It's
amazing.
It's definitely it's funny.
It's hitting all the right taste buds. You realize all the characters and everyone. It's done so well that you can't help but fall in love with all of them.
Yeah.
So diverse, and then
It's an amazing game. Like, it's funny because I don't play Blizzard games at all. I have so many friends that work there, and they're always like, "Dude, you should apply." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't play your games. I don't play StarCraft. I don't play WoW. I just never got into it, just because I saw how addicting it was. But I play Overwatch now, and I'm like, this game is bad.
Yeah.
And so we got John Polidor, who does some character designs. I do some character design for that game. We got Jamaro. I mean, that's Hearthstone. You already know who that is. We got Dan Levisi, a guy that's currently working on his own big film, summer blockbuster film. He did it by himself, right? No art school. That guy's the ultimate story of creating your own project. He went the route by himself. That I'm not gonna go to a studio. I'm just gonna do it myself. And now people are coming to him and they're like, "Hey, I want to make your movie," and stuff like that. So you're gonna get a lot, I think, of information from different walks of life, and that's gonna be dope. For people that just signed in and want to enter the raffle, maybe Zabi or Denzel.
Yeah, I'm gonna send in a link.
Why you guys show them the website? Show them where they can sign up. Show them what's going to be happening.
All right.
Definitely.
I'll take you on a tour. So, all right. If you go to edgecontrolexpo.com and you click the ticket section, you'll discover that there aren't tickets yet, but we will be selling them when the stream ends. But you can click the Give Me a Free Ticket button, which will take you to our Gleam page where you can sign up to win a free ticket, which will announce the winners at 8 o'clock today.
And with this ticket, what does it give them? You know, when's the event? How much does it cost? Like, give me some of them details.
Oh,
All right. So the event is, as you may have read on the website, is a 2-day event, and there will be 3 presenters per day. Day 1 we'll have Dan Luisi, and we'll have Kalen and John Paul Dora. And day 2 we have Anthony Jones, and we have Frank Hong, and also Jamar Kindred.
all right.
And yeah, do you want to elaborate on something?
Me?
So about the ticket sales will be live at the end of the live stream, and we have many different options, and we made sure to give you guys the option of having early birds.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
by the time the stream ends, we're going to be releasing super early bird tickets. So like these tickets are heavily discounted for the people who, you know, aren't going to wait last minute to buy an event ticket, right? And then I think was it July, mid-July or August, we are going to release the like regular early bird tickets, and then from there it's just going to be full price, which you don't want to pay for. You don't want to pay full price for a ticket when there's discounts. Come on,
Oh,
get on it.
yeah. So you definitely want to get on the early bird tickets if you can. Save yourself some money. Tell yourself about tell your friends about the event. Are we gonna do one thing that we didn't talk about, which you probably should do, is maybe start doing some group discounts. Did we talk about
Discounts? No, I don't think so.
that? Yeah, we should, because I mean, who's gonna go by themselves, right?
Right. Oh, you're right.
Yeah, we should do some group discounts. Like if
You should have told us earlier.
yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of that. That's bad on my part. See, we're learning right now. We're learning.
I know.
It is our first time hosting the event.
Off the stream. Don't worry, guys. We should do some group discounts. So that means if you go with your homies, you get a discount. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We want you
Yeah, that would be great.
to come hang out with us. And
All right.
just so you guys know, these guys are putting a lot of money up front to kind of make this all happen. And none of us get paid, by the way. Always want to stress that these guys that we're coming out here and they're coming out there just to meet you guys. So all they're paying for is our flight and a place for us to sleep. They're paying for like a futon or something like that. I don't know where I'm sleeping, but I don't really care. As long as I
for
get
your
to hang out.
burritos.
Yeah,
And-
all they're paying for is my burritos. Burritos, I'm getting back and playing them out.
And
But-
this is exactly why we're hosting events like this, is because the amazing community, they're willing to do so much to just meet each other and get to know each other. And Denzel and I, like just anyone out there, is definitely willing to go through any trouble at all to find a venue, plan everything out, and have an epic time together.
Just want
Yeah.
some friends, man. That's it.
Friends for life.
Friends for
That's what it is.
life.
We hope that you guys are gonna come and meet people and if you've ever been curious about what it's like to work at some of these companies or talk to some of these artists, I mean, this is where we're going to be sharing, everything, nothing off the table. We're going to be there to meet you guys. And I think that's the reason why we love what we do, is because in terms of our company, Robot Pencil, it kind of thrives off you guys. We can't do much without you guys. So we have to make sure that we are out there meeting everybody and having fun and seeing what you guys, even the community. And one of the cool things about this is our first year doing it. And I hope you guys come, because if we do well, we could start making this a yearly thing.
Yeah.
We can start bringing out more artists, so the more people sign up next year, then we can bring out more and have a bigger event, that maybe a nicer venue,
Like
better burritos. Like,
that's
we don't know.
that's exactly what we want to do. Like with Edge Control, we kind of want to not only just concept artists we want to bring in. Like we want to bring in people who are like producers or directors, so that people can get a better feel for what it's like to actually work under these people, and what it's like. Right.
I want to hear from the industry. I want to hear what Toronto, Canada, the spirit of Canada has to say about art.
Exactly.
I would want to hear that. So I mean, so what do you think? The future the future of edge control 5 years from now? Like, what is your dream for this event? Like, what do you hope?
Okay, well, this event in particular, we want this to be like the stepping stone for what we want to, like, we want to build our education platform essentially. So, like, for the first event, you know, we just want it to go well, and then we want to make Edge Control Expo an annual thing where we don't just bring, you know, concept artists or just creative juice people. Like, we want to bring people from like all stretches of the entertainment industry. So like maybe people from animation or film or you know, like fields like that. So it's not just limited to concept art, but like, because we think it's really important that concept artists are so like they're so tight knit in our community. So like when you look at stuff in concept art, like it's not very expansive. Like it's kind of like you know what I mean. Like it's kind of tight, right? So
Yeah,
like
everyone's trying to impress each other too. It's
right,
really
exactly.
funny and cool.
And me and Zabby, like we just came from Detroit. We attended this conference called, it was the AMC conference, and like it wasn't like we were probably the only concept artists there. Like other than that, there were like a bunch of just mixed media creators and like people not even associated with visual arts in general. Maybe people who do like poetry and things like that. And like what we discovered is that like it's so important for, especially for a concept artist who needs to take inspiration from life itself to, you know, produce the things that will be, you know, broadcasted in games and films and animation, right? So like meeting people like that and seeing like what they create for and like what they do and how they're involved in their community and like things like that, like it's so valuable to bring that into our you know, into our field.
And we definitely want to kind of break that veil. And something that kind of happened to us when we were in Barcelona was like someone said, you know what, like for some reason I thought you guys were like these like amazing like gods that were just like doing these kind of crazy things, but it was kind of great to hear that you guys mess up too, and you guys are just as human as you are, and you guys go through a lot of the same things that I go through in my day-to-day life. And so it was really refreshing to hear that you guys have problems too. That's not you just wake up and you just do this epic work and you know that's it. And I think that's kind of funny because I think with social media we kind of have this little veil a little bit sometimes where we see all this amazing art, right? And we see kind of clicks and we see these people doing these amazing things, and sometimes people don't necessarily share, which is totally fine. And but we see all this stuff and we think, oh man, I could never do that, because all you see is, you know, that finished painting, right? You don't see the things underneath that. And I think Raw Pencil, we're very big on kind of taking that veil off and kind of letting you guys know that, you know, to the everyday artist, like you really can do this. You know, I had one person come up to me and was like, man, I thought about quitting at one point in time, but being at this event, like it really showed me that you guys are just as human, and you guys went through the same things that I'm going through now as a student, and that, you know, I really can do this if I want to. And I was, yeah, totally. Like that's kind of what it's all about, because for us, we want to make a step in education, because when I was in school, I didn't always have the best education, and I think this is our way to kind of give back to that community, that you know, so that people don't have to go through what we did, you know.
Absolutely.
It's hard sometimes to navigate this freaking career that is art, you know.
Yeah, especially Kalen, when you starting out, we didn't have Gumroad or that many resources online for us just to pull from, right? It was during school. It was mostly, you know, you get together and paint with your peers, and you kind of explore and figure out techniques together. I think that for art school is like the most most rewarding process, is to get a crew together and kind of go at it together. Because to do this alone and to learn all about how to be a good artist alone is almost impossible. It's really, really difficult. Even with the resources today that you can go online and check out different artists' Gumroad, coming directly from the artist too. It's a great resource, but when you come down to getting better yourself, you still have to grind through so many hours of fundamentals. You know, you have to be able to identify which areas that you have to work on and things like that, which is really difficult if you're uh, sort of self-contained and shy. There's a lot of artists that
Yeah.
have difficulty talking or communicating about what they're trying to do, and having this forum, you know, having artists that can talk about it and communicate ideas, it's hugely beneficial. I think this the edge control group is going to be really good, just for everyone.
Oh, I totally agree. You know, it's funny you mentioned that. When I was in school, I used to look at Frank Hong's work, man. I used to look
Oh
at Frank
shit.
Hong's work on freaking
Look at that.
DeviantArt, man. I would look at his work and I'd be like, dude, I wonder how he did this. Because again, this was back in the day where if you wanted to learn something, you had to just look at someone else's work and
Yeah.
and you could
Yeah,
figure
you,
it
you
out.
look at their work, you copy it and paste it to Photoshop. And I was looking at James Fair's work in when I was in college, because there just wasn't enough tutorials. And there's the Gumroad. Sorry, there was the Gnomon tutorials, and that was about it.
Yeah, we did not have a lot, and that to me is probably some of the funnest times I've ever had in terms of learning, just because it was just like there really was no expectations. You didn't really know where to go. But I think even now, in some ways, it's easier, but also harder for students now because there's so much information out there. Some people are just like, I have no idea where to start. You know,
Now there's too much,
Now
whereas
there's-
before there's not enough.
yeah, and so I definitely would agree that this is going to be a good event, and I want to definitely like put our stamp on education and help people that are trying to get into this, that are thinking about or that are in this, that you know you're not alone, because you're right, it is impossible to go alone. I definitely would not be here whatsoever if it were not for people like had I not met people like AJ or Edgar, you know, in my class that I saw them painting and I was like, dude, how do you do that? And they're like, oh, well, I do it like this. And I'm like, oh, check out this painting. Like, how do you think that guy did that? And literally spend our days trying to, you know, figure it out. And that's, and but nowadays people are so confused now. They're just like, I don't know where to go, or I don't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
some people, because of social media, are very kind of keep to themselves, and that's totally fine too. But we definitely want, again, to kind of unmask that a little bit and let people a little bit kind of personal into our lives about how we got to where we are. And so I definitely want to hear about what I'm looking forward to too, is learning myself. And I'm looking forward to hearing, you know, what are the daily struggles of an artist in Canada? You know, what do you guys go through, as opposed to, you know, me, I grew up in California. So, you know, what are our struggles? Are their struggles differently? You know, I got to hear a lot about people and their kind of art journey in Barcelona and in Spain. Now I'm curious to see, you know, where things, you know, are similar and where things kind of differ.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
I saw a good thing there. Concept Cat wrote, speaking on group discounts, a student discount would be something we should look at too. A school one. We should definitely maybe
Yeah,
look into
like,
that.
there's so many things that we haven't considered yet.
Yeah, so this is why, again, we're learning for this event. So
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta do it to get better at it.
definitely,
That's the most important thing.
Right.
yeah,
And-
because the students are definitely important here. So we definitely got to show them some love. Yeah.
Yeah, this is why this live stream is so important. You guys can come down and give us suggestions, the
Yeah.
things that you want. to
The
paint here.
event is your event.
Feedback.
Yeah, it's definitely your event, and you're helping us shape it. We're just here to drive it the way you want us to drive it.
Exactly.
Exactly. You know,
Gotta
we
be the catalyst.
definitely, after this year, we're gonna ask for your feedback. We're gonna say, who do you want next? You know, what should we do more? What should we do more? What should we do less of? You know, I actually had to meet with Brian Deacon from Barcelona to plan for next year, because this year went so well. They're like, dude, we gotta get ready for next year. And I'm like, already? He's like, yeah, man. You got to figure out like who do you want to have, you know, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And we got to figure out who we got to kidnap, you know,
Right.
Yeah.
family, kidnap some children
Burritos.
and give them
not the children.
burritos to make them come out. I feel like an ongoing joke at I'm gonna show up on stage with a burrito. I was paying and I just walk off. I'll be like, I'm out.
That should just be the ticket, the burrito ticket.
Is,
I'm gonna put that into our budget.
does
Yeah.
Canada have like dope burrito spots, by the way?
Of course, like Okay.
Well,
Oh, we could talk more about like what the event is going to like.
The location
Yeah,
and
the
the
location.
places,
Yeah,
Like,
right?
let's talk
Yeah,
about that.
definitely.
Let's talk about the location. Let's
do it,
talk about
Savvy. Do it.
Okay, so we picked a venue called Art Daniel's
Daniel
Spectrum.
Spectrum. Yeah.
It's from
Artscape.
Artscape, right?
Right.
And it's located in the core of downtown Toronto, which
Right.
where everything is. Everything from shopping to food and entertainment, like the theaters. So it's a great place, and we were very, very lucky to get it.
Right.
And the thing is, you are 8 minutes away from by a streetcar
From like
from one of our biggest
like
malls
exactly.
in all of
Right.
Toronto. And this mall has so many places to eat, and all the food in Toronto is very, very multicultural, like very, very diverse. So you can have your burrito,
Yeah.
and you can have it
yeah.
in I
Walk
don't
like
know,
five step down the street and have your Korean food too.
Korean
Yeah. Right.
Korean food, and maybe a Korean version of the
Not
burrito.
Korean, so
You
it's
know?
Korean burrito. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah,
yeah, we'll
get your
some food. Like I want us to go like do some workshops, and then I want like everyone in the event. We're gonna go to a bar, drink and draw and hang out and stuff like that. Like that, I want that kind of stuff. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of funny because when JP did a demo for us, he was kind of nervous a little bit when he first started because it was like his first time demoing, and he still did a great job. But where he kind of really thrived was kind of in the bar situation because we all went to a bar afterwards and we all got food, and it was just so much fun just hanging out with fellow artists. We had our sketchbooks out. If you didn't want to sketch, you didn't have to. People were just talking about life and art, and we were just kind of sketching and giving out free shirts and just hanging out, and just meeting other artists and being able to talk to other artists and ask them about their lives. And it's just nice because in Spain too, it was like there are people from like there's actually people from Canada. I don't know if I told you that. There's people from Canada that went to like Sheridan that were like
Right.
doing like a study abroad program.
Ooh, sure.
Oh, shit.
And he's like, yeah, we're from Canada. He's like, oh, we might actually be there for the event. And I was like, I'm hanging out with you in Barcelona. And I was like, that was pretty funny to see. But I met some people from like Colombia, some people from like Argentina, and some people from different walks of life. And I'm curious to meet different kind of cultural differences that are going to be from America to Canada, and the people that are from other countries too. I'm looking forward to meeting all that stuff and just talking to them and learning stuff. I mean, I think that's really important to grow as an artist, is to expand your network of friends too. Hang out with the same kind of friends over and over again, you're going to kind of produce the same results, in my opinion. So, getting more diverse and just meeting more people, it's definitely will inspire you. I really believe that. So,
And also networking is just a good idea if you're an artist, because if you network, you have a much higher chance of getting hired somewhere that you want.
Mhm.
That's the half of being an artist is the mind game. You have to know where to go with what you're trying to do. That means you identify which areas you want to learn more about. Like the more specific you know what you want as an artist, the higher the chance you're going to get there.
Okay.
So if you filter through all the information on the internet and you filter through what you want to get a little bit closer to, you'll realize then I need to ask this guy who's in this discipline of art, and he has more information that's related to my kind of interest,
there
right?
have been some times, at mixers where someone was just like, oh, like I'm like, hey, welcome. And he's like, oh, you know what? Like, I'm not sure if this is for me. And I'm like, okay, well, what were you expecting? He's like, oh, I thought it's going to be like these kind of people here. And I'm like, oh, well, there is. That guy right there, that guy works exactly at the company that you want to work for. He does exactly what you do. You should go talk to him. And he's like, oh,
Exactly.
oh, thanks. And so a lot of times too, we've met people that were shy for whatever reason,
Right.
and that's
They're artists.
probably the funniest one ever. This one girl that was super shy and was just like, I don't want to show my work to him because like I'm not good enough. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, come. I'm gonna like grab your hand. I'm going to walk you over to this person and be like, hey, this is so and so. You should look at her work. I think it's something that's very, very positive. And they're like, oh my god, thank you. Like I was so scared. And it's like you shouldn't have to be, And sometimes you have to learn that part. that just kind of put yourself out there. And that happened in Barcelona too a couple of times. Some people were really good, and I'm like, have you shown this to this guy? And it's like, oh no, I don't want to bother him. I'm like, dude, we're in Spain. Like,
Yeah, this is literally what you're doing.
yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
sure the next time we're going to be here, so you need to go talk to him. So I just grabbed their portfolio, and actually there were a couple of projects that Dan Levisi himself saw and was like, I want to help you. Like, I want to help you get this off the ground, you know?
Yeah.
And that to me is like, that's like the coolest thing to me. The fact that there was, you know, a kid that had this idea that thought that it would only go as far as being an idea. And that's all it will ever be. But then because of this event, because we were able to be there, he now met someone influential that might change his life, and he might be the next, you know, like Pixar, J.J. Abrams. You know, that's quite possible. And it's kind of funny how it works. These small little like meeting certain people, you know, that all of a sudden just kind of change your life forever. That's awesome, and I think that's going to be really, really cool. I think I can't wait for moments like that. I wish there was like a word for that to describe those kind of moments, but like I think that's going to be like what I think these events are all about.
Mhm.
Is putting people in connection with other people that are very like-minded, or putting people in a relationship that is beneficial for both people. You know, where someone's like, oh, I didn't know this person. I'm like, yeah, talk to that person. He's going to help you out. And the next thing you know, they're creating awesome shit because you introduced them. And so I think like that's going to be really fun to kind of see that happen, you know, at the event. So
Right.
I'm excited for that, and I'm excited for some burritos.
Yep.
Even
You have a preference, by the way? Like,
no, I'm actually not really like that big of a foodie. Like I would say actually I'm kind of contemplating if I want to fly my fiance out, because she's actually like a really big foodie.
okay.
She's like really good at cooking. Like I actually really don't care that much about food.
Oh, she's gonna love burrito then.
Yeah.
But she was like, "Oh, you going to Canada?" And she's like, "Oh," and she's like, she loves Yelp, like that. I hate that.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But she's just like, "Oh, there's some places you should go eat," and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "I don't know. Wherever they're gonna take me, they're gonna take me." So
Right.
I might have to bring her out, and I'll just
Alright.
put her in a hotel while I'm demoing. I'll be like, "All right, go eat things and go tell me what."
Come back in like 5 hours.
Yeah, you know, I feel like if I go there, then like I feel like she'd be mad if I was finding all like these cool foodie places and I was eating without her. She'd be like, it's kind of like cheating on her. She'd be like, what the?
I don't even know what that food is.
You know, just find her a ticket and have her come out. It should be fun. But dude, this is gonna be fun. I'm already having like good vibes about this, and like I really think it's gonna be something memorable. And like I mean, to be honest, like I want this to be something for you guys. Is what we want. That's kind of our goal for What Pencil is. Like we don't want to take it over or anything like that. We want to give you guys a platform to start it, and eventually it just becomes yours. And then whoever you want to invite, whether it's us or whether it's not us, like you guys can run it any way you want. We're just going to help you get it off the ground. You know, we'll help you promote it. We'll help you. You know, we'll do the first event or the first two or whatever. But eventually, we want you to be able to take it in your own direction, wherever Canada wants to take it. You know, that's the event. And you know, and I think Barcelona will soon be that way, where we won't even be demoing anymore there. We'll just be there to kind of help facilitate things, you know, help promote things and help bring other artists. And luckily, because of our connections, we know a lot of people. We're just you're pretty much kind of using us for our connections. So it's just like, yeah, I know so and so. I can see if we can bring them out, and that's what I want to do. I want my art friends to be able to travel and meet you guys. And I mean, I'm still getting people hitting me up. They're like, yo man, you're going to all these traveling places, like I want to do a workshop, like I want to go. I'm like, all right man, the next one. So there's definitely not a shortage of artists who want to come and speak to you guys, but again, the hardest part is getting an event, getting a venue, like booking a hotel, organizing tickets, sales, right, food, like all. I mean, there's so much. I mean, you guys can maybe even talk about how much work it is, but like it's hard work, and unless someone's really gonna take the time to make it, it's not gonna happen. But once you do it once and you kind of get you get the rep going, you know what I mean, and then it becomes automatic, and next thing you know, you have the cogs in order, and you can do it every year with no problem. You know, it becomes very much automatic, and you can start making it a lot easier for yourself. But the first one's always the hardest one.
Absolutely.
Almost been like a year since we've started the idea of having Edge Control Expo.
Oh,
And
year. Wow.
yeah, like it started with our during the time when we were finishing up our mentorship with Anthony Jones,
Right.
which was last year around the end of August.
We were just brainstorming at that
Yeah.
time, and like it was more so what propelled us was like the idea, like what we could do, because like just sitting there thinking about it, like oh we could do this or like we could do that, like that's what got us to where we are now, like just remembering all those things that we thought of. It's like,
Yeah, and like Kalen said, it is a lot of hard work in the beginning because like we are artists and we're students and we're also going
we
through
don't know
school
what
and
we're
everything.
doing. We're idiots. Like,
Yeah.
literally
So-
anyone could have done this. But
Literally anyone.
But
Yeah.
that's the thing, though, is like anyone probably could have done it, but no one did. You know,
right,
and
exactly. That's the
But-
thing. Like,
It's good that
And-
you guys did.
We can't share our secret though. The secret is we Googled how to
yeah,
how to
like,
book a venue, and we
Mhm.
Googled how to go through all the legal stuff, insurances, and the contracting.
it's pretty.
So yeah,
pretty
I
hard
hope
stuff.
you can check that out. Google it.
Yeah, someone said Montreal is next. Oh, don't play, man.
Oh,
Good.
I got friends in Montreal, man. We already got some.
Oh yeah.
Make it happen. And that's what I want. Like I want a hub for my friends and our colleagues to travel and have a place where they can know, where an event they can go to and share their knowledge, and they know that they can trust the event. That's going to be good. It's going to be run. It's going to be organized well. You know, like after Barcelona, now I have no problem like recommending some more friends. You know, and saying, hey, if you want to go to this event and demo for them or whatever, I'll make it happen. I'll talk to them and we can get it going. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I went there, they ran it good. You know what I mean? And I want that to, I want that to happen for you guys.
yeah.
And so hopefully by next year or even 2 years from now, because like if you think about it, right, we have like these ones in Croatia and like Portugal, right? These events, and it's like the people that travel probably from Canada to go to these things, and not that you shouldn't go to Croatia because that's pretty fucking awesome. I want to go to Croatia, but there definitely needs to be some local events.
Yeah, like if you're in Toronto and you just want to, watch some professional people talk about what they do, you don't have to really, you don't want to travel all across the world just to get that. You know, we should have some local stuff, and our community here is strong, artists here is strong, so just get together. You know,
It's gonna be a really fun time. I really think it's gonna be very eye opening.
Also,
I'd love to see
not just for the information, also for support, because I feel like artists need that level of support. It's kind of fragile, you know. We're always thinking about what if our art's not good enough. I know I at least think about that all the time because when I work on two projects at the same time, I have to keep a quality bar, but my eyes get so tired that I don't know if my stuff is good anymore. So I need the support of everyone in my studio to, we pass projects around, we discuss things, we work on every single problem solving things together using the collective experience rather than the individual, because it's very easy for one person to make a lot of mistakes. But as a group, having that support, having that confidence as an artist, knowing that your friends are supporting you in this endeavor, that's so important.
No, yeah, I agree, man. Because like, again, no one walks this journey alone. It really is. You really do have to have a team behind you, and I think some people don't realize that because of social media, and I think it's also too because you get tunnel vision sometimes. Like
Yeah.
you're stuck doing the same thing over and over again. And if anything, too, what I'm really excited about is I've yet to go to a World Festival event where I wasn't like re-inspired or just refreshed. Like Frank, I'm sure you get burnt out, don't you?
Talking about burnout, yes, all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure you've been to some events where you were burnt out and then you came back and you were like, man, like I need to go start doing some stuff. Like
Yeah.
I need to create something. Like I left this event and I'm just feeling super inspired. And I would recommend that this event is for someone that is definitely maybe feeling uninspired and wants to kind of get back into it. I would definitely say that's something that is really good about these events, because I know that when I left Barcelona, I was like, man, like I need to work even harder because this was so much fun. Like this, I think the instructors kind of feed off the students a little bit. Like we see how hyped they are, and then we get hyped because they're hyped, and then we're like,
Exactly. The instructors feed up the enthusiasm of the students and everyone there. the more enthusiasm and the more support the artists give to these events, the better that we can do and we can provide.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be so much fun. Just kind of meeting people and just hearing their story and hearing their story and again just getting like their energy, their vibe, and that's a huge part. So really big. And what else? We're going to be doing some feedback too, right? Like portfolio reviews and stuff like that. I believe. I mean, we're going to
Oh
be doing.
yeah, we still
Yeah.
need to talk about like just really quickly. Our raffle, free ticket raffle, ends in about 15 minutes. So if you still haven't signed up to get a free ticket to this event featuring Frank Hong and Kalen Chock and all these other artists, then go do that right now at edgecontrol.com or edgecontrolexpo.com/tickets.
Throw a little link in the chat, so
Yeah.
they can.
Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on the link.
No, I'm on it.
Okay, here we go, guys. I did it.
You,
Press that link
you're
and
bad.
Press that link and things
it's
might
gonna
happen.
do it. Yeah, magic.
I know, magic. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why don't you
Wonderful.
tell some of the what can students hope to or what are they going to expect from these things?
Okay.
What's going to happen? What's kind of the day to day kind of stuff? What they're going to be portfolio reviews? Are they going to be talking? Or giveaways? What's going to be happening?
I don't know. I talked enough.
Well, you know what? I think students can expect some truth, especially if they're not working in industry and they're not sure how it is like exactly. I think we can get some very honest answers for the struggles that professional artists have to go through. You can hear from Anthony Jones, you can hear from Jamaro Kindred, who are vastly experienced artists who's worked in the industry for so many years. Their experience is worth a lot. Like, because I have worked in TV for a while, but let me tell you the difference between an experienced artist and someone who's maybe starting out is how they can anticipate problems before it even happen. Is that they can tell what the client wants before the client gives them the full brief. Now, this is immensely important and can help any artist to become more successful in their field just by having more confidence in the process of things, in the pipeline of things, in how
Right.
the daily working of the studio works. Kalen, I know you've worked in many different studios and you've also worked freelance. These experiences, until the artists actually go on and do them, it's quite difficult to fully explain how
Yeah,
it exactly goes.
yeah. There's a lot of things that I get questions about all the time about money and what should I do with this or how should I reach out to this person. And the funny part is a lot of the answers always seem like so obvious, but they don't
Mhm.
know that it's obvious. And I'm like, well, if it was this situation, what would you do? They're like, well, I would do this, this, and this. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you should do. And he's like, oh, I guess the answer
Yeah, that
is
sounds like it makes sense. Yeah.
but I wasn't sure. I just wanted to make sure because I wasn't, no one ever taught me this. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's what we're here for.
All right.
We want to break some of those myths and this stuff. I think what people are going to realize that it's not just going to be just art in terms of what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about our lives and talking about our careers, and you're going to get a lot of great nuggets of information just about being professional, like little stories here and there about what it's like, being a young artist and growing up and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
it's not just going to be, how to draw something, how to use Photoshop. It's going to be about life as well, a lot
Yeah.
of life lessons that hopefully you won't have to go through because we went through it already. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the ideal situation, right? It's like you learn the mistakes of others so that you don't have to go through them yourself.
Exactly. I definitely made a bunch of dumb mistakes in my time. Not knowing how to charge properly, making mistakes on my first freelance client. Not knowing what the client actually wanted, and we kind of got through it.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a fun time. You're definitely gonna learn a lot about just life in general, about being the life of an artist. I always say that like art is easy, life is hard, and I still to this day believe that like learning art is pretty easy. You spend a lot of time doing it, read some
Yeah.
books on it, you'll be fine. But life, that's where things can kind of take you for a left turn in terms of family drama, personal drama, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever the case may be. Not everything can prepare you for that, and hopefully some of our stories will show you guys, how we kind of went about that. So it's going to be cool, and I definitely can't wait to hear life as a Canadian artist, man. I don't know the struggles of what it's like to work as a Canadian artist, whether there's
Struggles?
issues working
Yeah.
working in America or not working in America, or just working with clients internationally. There's probably a lot of things these artists probably want to know, because there's some questions that are very specific to being a Canadian artist, and,
Yeah.
and that's why it's important.
Yeah, that is true.
All
Not
right.
much
Some of the-
struggles outside of art as Canadian. I'll read up every year. I'm like, yep, Canadian. I'll try that again next year. That's great. But yeah, in terms of art as a Canadian artist, and in terms of art, there's not much difference. It's just the life and other things. It might be a little bit different. It's harder, for example, for Canadian artists to go and work for U.S. productions. There's various there are various things. If you have a degree, it's a little bit easier. If you work freelance, if you have a company, it's a little bit easier. There are ways to go around it, but we'll definitely talk about that more in depth.
Okay,
Cool.
that's kind of
Looking
cool.
forward to that.
Let's open
that's-
up. Let's open up to some questions. If anyone
Yes.
has any questions in the chat, I'm not sure if there's anything been happening yet, but
Mhm.
this is some chance for you guys to ask some questions. We'd love to hear your thoughts. I mean, again, nothing is 100% set in stone yet. So I mean, if you have requests about the event, that this would be the time to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
More, I was going to say more burritos. Whatever you guys want to get out of it, or or what you think you might get out of it, or any question is kind of lingering. If you're like, you're kind of on the fence about it, you're like, should I go to this event, or what do I expect from it? I think now would be the time to ask those questions. We'll do our best to answer them, and suggestions too. We definitely want to make this thing awesome.
Yeah, we have a question from Omidusk TF, and his question is, what's the best to get a freelance if you can't attend certain events like GDC?
I think. Can I start first? I guess I'll start first.
The best way. Yeah.
The best way is to have a stellar portfolio. That's the best way. Have a stellar portfolio that's curated. What exactly it's in there. It's updated. There's no out of date artwork, and it's about 10 to 15 pieces at most. That's my straightforward answer to it. I'm sure there's a lot of nuances you can tweak, but having a portfolio can do wonders for getting you freelance projects.
Yeah. I would say, why can't you go to GDC?
Yeah,
Because,
why can't you go to GDC?
like, that's what I mean. Like, to me, it's like, this is your career on the line, and I'll give you a good example of why going to events or just saving money for events is important, because that's your career. There's people. I had people that went from GDC this year that came from Australia and Germany. Just because they knew this was a place to be, to meet other artists and build that, and they saved for the entire year. They saved money, they did freelance, and they did everything that they could to get that. And so I think if there's a will, there's a way. And maybe if you are unemployed, that's probably a little bit hard. But I would definitely look that maybe when you do get employed, or if you can get a day job, start saving some money. Start saving some and getting out there, because that's actually how I got my job at ILM. Ironically enough, was actually I went there and I didn't want to go, and my agent dragged me out. I didn't have a ticket, but he was lucky enough to get me one. And next thing you know, boom, I was talking to a guy at ILM, and then that led me to my job. And so I would say, obviously life is hard, right? Not everyone has the money for that kind of stuff. But I'd highly recommend that if you are serious about it, to really write down a plan of how you can maybe financially look at it and say, is this feasible? Because to go from it probably costs you about like $2 or $3 grand. Maybe make a plan, and it might not be like the quickest thing. It may not be like I'm gonna go there next year. It could be 2 years from now. You know what I mean? But I think
Yeah.
those things can definitely sometimes help you. But if you can't do that, then what Frank said is really good too. Having a really good portfolio. And so that's why it drives me insane when artists that live locally don't go to these because they're like, I
That's true.
can't go. And I'm like, dude, do you know how many people like wish they could be in your spot right now that
Right.
It's just like,
live
why not?
that
It's
you know
so
that live in
easy to
Canada
go.
or live
Yeah.
wherever and they can't go. And it's
Yeah.
like they're just like, whatever. And so
Mhm.
definitely take advantage of it if you can. Definitely, yeah, it sucks. It definitely I feel so bad for people that don't have these
Yeah.
events. And
Exactly.
if there aren't any events where you are, then come talk to us. And if there are other people like you, then maybe we can get an event going where you live so that you don't have to do that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I have a story to go along with this also. You have to go to the events that's suitable to your interest, to your field, meaning career-wise. If this event have a potential to benefit you or open more doors to you, then that is a career decision. That's not a vacation decision, That's something that you can plan for, put it on your agenda, and have money, saved up for it eventually down the line. Um, so when I was like I think about 3 years ago, actually 2 years ago, when I went to Vancouver, I was unemployed, out of work, and I didn't know what to do. So I was just sort of spending my time over there in Vancouver to rearrange my life. But there was this one event, SIGGRAPH, that was hosting in Vancouver. I didn't even want to go. I was like, you know what? That's visual effects. I'm not visual effects. I'm concept art. Why would I want to go there? But my friend got me a ticket. My friend came in from out of town. She's like, you know what? You should come with me. I don't want to go alone. Let's go. Let's go. At that point, I was trying to get into the Vancouver Film Union, and I submitted my portfolio. 6 months goes by. I didn't get a single call back. There's nothing. I called them. Nothing happens. But at this event, at SIGGRAPH, there's a booth that said IATSE, that's a union. I'm like, whoa, these guys are right there. You know what? I can go there and talk to them face to face. How crazy is that? If you want to meet some people, if there's a company or something, face to face is incredible value, because there's no better communication than just grabbing someone, not physically grabbing them, but having that having them look at you in the eyes and you communicate your idea, show your stuff or whatever. That's like the best way to sell.
Right.
So if you're sales, everyone kind of tests this. Face-to-face sales has the highest chance. So I went there. I was like, this is great. This is like the perfect opportunity for me. God has created this opportunity so I can get into the union. So I basically went to talk to this guy who turns out to be the VP, who turns out she knows some of the people that I have worked with in Toronto. So one thing led to another. The application is no longer a problem. This is the kind of the real life ways that you can open doors, right? So if you go to a SIGGRAPH event or a GDC event, you can be sure there are people hiring there. You can be sure there are people looking for people to fill in for their project,
Exactly.
or all kinds of stuff, all kinds of experiences and people and opportunities that you might not even know existed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was really good. Thank you so much. So a follow-up question from Omnidusk. He says, when you set 10 to 15 pieces, are they like 3 or 4 finished pieces and the rest are like thumbnails or iterations?
Hmm.
Yeah, go ahead.
I could probably take this a little bit. This is just my opinion on this one. I kind of like to say this is my best example that I've given it. Is kind of think of your portfolio kind of like a food menu, right? Right? You're like, what? A food menu, right? You have like your appetizers and you have like your main course, right? So like appetizers would be like your sketches, maybe like your regular course would be like some iterations, some whatever. Then you have like your main course, which is whatever it is that you do. It could be like like a main illustration or like a really cool concept. So I think kind of having a variety. I think a variety in terms of showing your process. You don't want to have too many like finished pieces because then the person can't really know how you got there, right? Because at that point, all I see is point A, right? All I see is point Z. But I don't know the previous letters before that. But if you show me points from A to C or D to E, right? You know, F to K, all that stuff. I can see how you got there, and then as an employer, I can be confident that if I were to give you a task, that you'll probably be able to be successful on it. Because we all get lucky sometimes with some paintings. Like you ever do a painting and you're like, man, I'm killing it right now. I have no idea how this is happening, but I'm killing it. Right?
Yeah.
And then you try to do it again and you suck, right? It's because you didn't really have, like, you got lucky, you know what I mean? And so a lot of artists can get lucky sometimes with their paintings. And so people want to see process because they want to know how you got there. They want to know how you think, and then that way too, if they know how you think, then they can know how to then coach you or direct you while you're doing your work to hopefully get the best out of you. But if all they see is just one just finished piece and nothing else, right? I don't know how you got there, and so then it kind of worries me a little bit because I'm like, was that luck? You know, was that skill? Like, how did he get here? What did he look at? So that's where I think, I kind of use the food menu a little bit because we're seeing a little bit of everything. We have some small dishes, some large dishes, right? Some big dishes. And then depending on what kind of studio you work for, you want to think about what kind of flavor that studio wants, Does that studio, like, let's say you're applying for Blizzard, right? Let's say Blizzard is Mexican food, right? If they're all about Mexican food, right? Would you put like Korean food in your portfolio, right? Korean food would be like Naughty Dog, right? It'd be like super high, hyper realistic stuff. They probably wouldn't want to see that, right? Because they're like, that doesn't apply to us. So then obviously kind of tailoring your portfolio sometimes can be very helpful too, because then they can look at you and go, oh, we can put this guy in the pipeline right away. That's so funny because like Blizzard Mexicans. Yeah, I'm totally not a foodie, by the way, but that's like the best example that I have. I think my fiance is.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Probably so.
But Frank, what are your thoughts on that? I'm curious to hear.
You know what? It's really interesting because now I'm on the other side of the equation. I'm constantly on ArtStation looking for people to hire that I can work with, and you know what? It's difficult. It's really difficult for me because I'm looking for portfolios that show process, like you said, and it shows polished paintings. So I'm looking for things that I can use for my project. And there's a few things I look for actually. The process and the polish is one, but I really just want to gain the confidence. I want to gain the confidence from the menu that this chef is good. This chef can cook my dish,
Still
right?
food.
So, they're very subtle things. Their value control, their confidence, their edge control, their
Dun, dun,
Nice.
dun.
We paid him to say that.
we just went meta.
That's actually a really good one. That wasn't even planned.
But yeah, like if I consider myself as an environment painter, then I'm looking for exactly the same things that I look for in my own paintings. It's just the technical and the process skills that they can carry. I'm not really looking for styles, stylization and things. That's a personal decision. That's not really a project decision. So I'm really looking for how these artists showcase their skill and process. A lot of times I'll go beyond just the ArtStation page and I'll look them up on Facebook and see what their flow is. But I guess that's kind of going a little bit too broad stroke. If we were to narrow it down a bit,
I see you.
if we're narrowed it down a bit, it's really the maturity. We're looking for people that consider them professional artists who can think and perform like professional artists. So if you're on the other side trying to build up a portfolio, you should be thinking in the perspective that what are the employers looking for? Does this menu showcase the best of my abilities?
Right, we have some more good questions coming up from one from Concept Cat, and she's saying, "Will you give a walkthrough of your process as artist at the event, or teaching on subjects like composition and composing and such?"
I think we'll be doing a little bit of everything. Everyone kind of will be bringing different things to the table in terms of what they'll be teaching, but a lot of it will be very kind of, a lot of it will have anecdotes telling us stories about our life and how we got to where we are. And a lot of it is going to be letting you in on our process, showing you how we paint and how we think, which is why most of you guys will probably want to come to the event because you're going to want to see your favorite artists like, Jamaro and JP and AJ, and you probably want to see them talk and be able to ask them questions live. We're going to be talking about all that stuff. So there's going to be time to talk to us individually while we're not, teaching on the front of the stage. And there's going to be, time to ask us questions while we're on stage, talking about our process and talking about what we think is what makes a good painting or a good drawing, or what we think would help you guys to get better at what you want to do. So I think it's going to be a little bit of everything. I think that's kind of the cool part about it. It's going to be, everyone will definitely, I think, walk away from something. So.
Yeah, absolutely, because you're getting the best from all these different artists, and in those demonstrations you'll find the process that obviously there's not one process of everything, so you'll actually see different processes at the event, which I think is great for artists that's sort of just starting out, or who's a little bit more curious about how the other artists are their processes in getting their painting up to the level. You'll get like a lot. You'll get like the full range of dishes, but you'll
there you go. See, that's the food analogy works, man. You're gonna get.
I'm telling you, this is perfect.
You get some Korean
You
food.
two are definitely foodies.
Yeah, you're gonna get everything that you need, and I'm actually like, I get excited too. Like, it's funny because I actually, when I'm not demoing, right, like I'm sitting in the crowd too, like with you guys, watching my friends teach, because every once in a while they drop some bombs, and I'm like, oh snap, like I didn't know I could do that, and I'm like, I'm gonna go home and try that, right? I'm gonna go to my hotel and like try some stuff out, and it's always funny to learn from local artists too. Like I get really excited to learn from local artists, because those are people that I don't know personally usually, and those people that I wanna see, like what do they do what they do, and every once in a while they'll drop a nugget, and I'm like, oh, that's actually really tight. I never thought of it like that, and then I'm just like, I'm a student as well, so we need this just as much as you guys do, in terms of like I'm there to learn too. Like I'm not there just to demonstrate. Like I'm there to I'll be there with my notebook and pen and everything as well. So it's gonna be a good time for sure.
Definitely. So Art of Sam wants to know how you feel about portfolios that showcase a number of styles versus portfolios that are super specific.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It really just depends who you're working for. Just because if you're working for example, one of the first companies I worked for, we were a third-party studio, so we were doing like everything. So we were doing like Hello Kitty Island Adventure one day, and then some super realistic game the next day, because we had to pay the bills. So in that regard, if I'm a director and I see that you have you can do a bunch of different styles, right? It's like, oh, sweet. So now I know if I had to have this person work something super stylized one day, and then something super realistic the next day, the person can handle it. They can handle probably, taking on multiple products at once. But if it's a company that only makes one kind of game, then I would say, you know what, that may not be the best thing sometimes, just because they're like, well, we only do this, so I don't really need to see any of this stuff, because we do this all day, day in and day out. But sometimes that variety can be good, because sometimes those kind of studios are looking to break the mold, and they're looking to try something new, and what your style could be that. But I think if anything, they're just looking for an opinion. They want to see your artistic opinion, and they want to see, how could they possibly have your opinion influence their product in a positive way. I don't know if Frank has anything on that as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. For me, I'm more leaning towards being specific, because if you had to choose whether or not to be an art generalist or an art specialist, meaning that for example, matte painter is a specialist. So if you have to choose, I'd say be a specialist, only for the reason that you're hireable. Specialist meaning you're good at one thing, and that one thing, if it's in demand, you'll have a better chance of getting a job. Now, sounds super practical, but for a lot of people, practical advice, it might work. The reason being, art generalists, it's hard to identify them with one thing. If I'm a company hiring, and I'm hiring just for this project, I'm not hiring someone to jump between two different projects, because that might be a little bit too much for him to do. Then I'm definitely looking for a specialist, basically someone who can do this task the best within the short amount of time, within the small amount of budget. Now that's basically like the equation of how I go to hire these people. But if you are looking for a style or you're looking for a way to show artistic expression, meaning something that you want to develop, something that is a IP of your own, then I say style is great. Going in all directions that you feel like going. That's what got us in the business in the first place, because it's fun. Because drawing and painting to your style is fun. Now, coming back to the portfolio, it really depends on who that portfolio is designed for. Is it a general portfolio for yourself, or is it a portfolio that you're going to use to apply to a company? If it's going to be used to apply to a company, figure out what project they're working on. If you're applying to Blizzard, you're not going to go in with Korean food. You're not going to go in with applied, the super rendered, or so there's different tastes to things, right? I haven't met a chef that can cook everything equally well, right? So you kind of have to pick and choose and decide what you want to include, what you want to take out.
Yeah, that's a good word. Is taste. I think that's probably the best. That's probably a better way to say is taste. Instead of using my food analogy, what is their taste and what are they looking for in a portfolio? And as long as your portfolio kind of tailors to that taste, then I think that's where things will usually be in a very positive kind of result for you. But maybe I will have like a little talk about on my talk. I'll have like a thing talking about food. It's gonna be funny.
That'll be fun.
That's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be a custom talk for Toronto.
Exactly. And your demo will be you cooking something on stage.
Yeah, I'll paint
Paint a burrito.
environment.
Oh no, no.
Hyper realistic burrito.
Be so rendered. You don't even
Yeah, it's so real you could taste it.
That's
Done
good.
by the end of the demo.
Right. So we have more questions piling up. One is from Killerden, if I said that right. He wants to know if you guys have any job interview tips. It's because he has an internship coming up in a few months,
Oh,
specifically for product design.
good luck, friend.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, good luck, and first of all, awesome. Usually, like in my opinion, if a company is willing to take time out of their day, like Frank knows, like when you're busy, you're a busy guy. So like if you're going to interview someone, right, Frank, that's probably someone that you're strongly considering. And
If I'm going to, yeah, exactly.
yeah, so that point to me, like Frank's a busy guy, I'm a busy guy, so that means like if someone's gonna interview you, that means that they're literally taking time out of their day while they're not working on a product. They're gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna take time out of my day. I'm gonna interview this kid and see if he would be a good fit here. So at that point, you've already proven that your quality of work is good enough to work there. At that point, it's just making sure you're not an axe murderer. It's literally all it is. Like at that point, like, if Frank's interviewing someone, it's like, all right, the guy's already good enough to work here, but I just got to make sure he's not a psycho. And if he's not a psycho,
Exactly.
and I get along with him, then we're good. And just so you know, an interview is as much an interview for you as it is for them, because you may not like the people that are there. I've been to interviews where I've met some of the artists and I just did not get along with them. I was just like, I already know that like people are gonna annoy me, the way they talk, the way that they hang out, like it's just not what I'm about, and I wouldn't like it here. And so you don't want to go to a place and just sign a contract and be like, yeah, 2-year contract, I'm gonna work here, right? Because you could be miserable and you wouldn't even know it, right? You could get there, you could hear the art directors, you could hear the people there, and you're like, actually, you know what, this isn't for me. So it's a two-way street, this relationship that you're about to possibly embark on. It's kind of like going on a first date, right? It's like you want to make sure that they're right for you just as much as you're right for them. You know what I mean? So definitely ask them questions and kind of taking everything as you kind of go to the studio or whatever. But for them, it's mostly probably just a personality test, just kind of making sure that you're not crazy, you're not weird. But at that point, if someone's taking out of their day, right? If you're as busy as Frank is, if someone's going to take time out of their busy schedule to interview you, that means they're serious. They're really serious about hiring you. No one would ever bring someone in for an interview that they weren't really serious about hiring. Because otherwise, what's the point?
At least skill-wise, you're on the level. Otherwise, you wouldn't even have that, right?
Yeah.
Now, interviews for the arts industry, it's mostly just like what Kalen said. It's mostly like feel it out. Are you going to be able to work with the team? Are we going to be, comfortable working together or not? Because when you're working in a studio environment, you're part of the bigger machine, right? So it's one part protecting the team So if I'm interviewing someone, I'm definitely looking for the vibe. If we have a good vibe, things should go okay. Obviously, we'll look for things like your attitude, like your views on work ethics and things like that. But it really comes down to it's not really that serious. Most of the arts interviews that I've done are really conversational. But
Yeah. It's you want to get a feel for their personality, because what a great point that Frank brought up was it's a machine. And so the it's almost like think of it like, you'll hear me do a lot of food analogies, and you'll hear me do a lot of sports analogies. It's like sports, right? If I'm about to bring on a new kid on my soccer team or whatever, right? If I'm about to trade for this kid, or a new player, I got to make sure that he can gel with my team, right? So that at that point he's already good enough to play the sport, but is he good, right? Is he an asshole, right? Is he gonna mess up my team chemistry, right? That's what a studio is. A studio is team chemistry. It's a machine, and if you bring in someone that's poisonous or toxic to the team, it's gonna bring everyone down, right? And so they got to make sure that you're a good fit. So a lot of times it's not even about the skill. A lot of times it's just about the personality and making sure that you are a team player. Just like if you were to try to transfer, right? If you're trying to make a trade for someone on a soccer team or a basketball team, right? You could have a really good player, but we've seen really good players in sports be assholes, and then the team doesn't do that well because they're so focused on this guy being an asshole, right? As opposed to hiring, transferring for a much more of a team player. So they're going to make sure that if they're going to bring someone, and I'm sure Frank can know this too, that it's a family, and they want to make sure that if we're going to bring someone, a new person into this family, and it's someone that they can trust, that they can be around, and that they're going to like. And if you don't give off that vibe, then they're not going to hire you, plain and simple, because it's not worth it. It's a risk. Because if you're the person that brings down the company with your antics and stuff, right, they're going to be like, dude, F this guy. So
yeah, exactly.
don't worry about skill, though. I mean, and I'm sure you're probably a nice person. I think I've only met like a couple artists in my life that were like complete weirdos and were like, yeah, I'm an asshole, right? Even
Oh,
though
man.
it's actually kind of like exaggerating.
They're compensating for something.
Yeah, right. Like I've only met like a couple of like super weird artists, so like for the most part, like I'm sure they're probably just a personality fit,
Yeah.
And
So
don't worry about it too much. Just
yeah,
go out
don't
and be
don't
yourself.
don't worry too much.
Yeah, go and be yourself, relax, and just have fun.
Yeah, and in business, say if you want to get a job in banking and you study business and all that, the interviewing process for that is messed up. Like they go through different stages of interview. If you pass with the first stage, you get sent to do another interview with the higher level executives, and then you do the interview again to the head office guys, and then at the end they pit you against these other few guys so that they can decide, are you cool to work here or not. That's your entire method. It's completely messed up. At least in art, you can rely on your professional portfolio and your skill, and that's great. But in the outside world, that's how people hire. That's how people vet you. It's like, are you cool to be in this team, or are we going to have an issue with you? Because a lot of people have egos, especially a lot of artists have egos. It's a little bit hard to make that work if it gets too much.
Yeah, very good answers, guys. So we're gonna go through 2 or 3 more questions before we announce the raffle winners. So let's.
We can do like a lightning round too, where we kind of just answer them as quickly as possible.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's even better. So okay, here's a specific question to Frank. Almidusk wants to know if he can contact your studio, an email with a portfolio, and get a feedback from you.
Get feedback from me, yeah. Then you have to email my address. I'll actually type it in the chat box here. If you mail it to contact, sometimes it doesn't get a reply. But if you message me, sometimes I'll reply. But I have to apologize for something though. It's like a lot of people email me through contact a crush, and it just cannot reply all of them. There's way too many. I have zero time because in my studio, it's a small studio. We've only been going on for 2 years, and the crew here that have to constantly share responsibilities and run different roles each day. So if I don't reply, it's not because I don't like you or anything like that. Just message me again. Give me a ping, give me a pat on the back or something like that. Like, hey, Frank, I messaged you last week. Have you got a chance to do this and that? And that, and I will follow up.
Okay, for sure. Other questions? I saw one right there. Do you have to pay for the reviews? No, we will actually have a dedicated time for that where people will get reviews at the event.
So, well, the day is basically, it's like a 12-hour day plus like an after party or like a networking party. So the first part is all the lectures from 3 different artists on 3 different days or 2 different days, and then during like, I don't know, after all those lectures, then we're going to have like the networking half where people like Frank and Kalen will do portfolio reviews and hang out and things like that. So that's what you can generally expect from the 2 days.
If you buy me beer, you get more time. That's how it goes.
There we go. Yeah, we're serving alcohol too.
I'm gonna get a lot of burritos there.
Probably.
Just you guys keep in mind that we can't really guarantee to have everyone that attends to get a portfolio view because there'll be 6 of these guys and there'll be a lot of work
of you.
one night.
Like, yeah.
We'll definitely.
So you might have to go in and box out other people. Get a stance right from the get-go.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think at Barcelona we had like 200 plus people, and I think we actually got to almost everyone. So
that's crazy.
Well,
we
that's
kind of
amazing.
a little bit, but we definitely everyone got a chance to talk to us, whether it was like personal, like a portfolio review, or impersonal, which is like at the bar, at the like kind of like the mixer event. So don't worry, like you will have time to talk to us. I guarantee you.
Okay, I guess they are robots. They can do this.
Jesus.
Hmm.
All right.
100.
Another question.
A question.
Art of
Right.
Sam. He says, "Thanks, guys. I work for an outsourced concept art house, so my work is super varied, and I worry about not being noticeable. Give me something to think about."
It's a statement.
Personal projects, man. You gotta. It's the hardest part. Is like, especially if your work gets buried, you gotta have personal projects. Like I can't show any work that I ever did at ILM, and that's just the way it is. And that's why I was always trying to do personal work all the time. So you gotta make some time for yourself. That to me is like your workout time, your practice time. You get to try new things, experiment, and that's when you get to do those things. So definitely try to make time for yourself, not just the company that you work for.
Yeah, what Kalen said.
Oh. All right, next question.
All right, you got another one, Davi?
Sorry, I was just trying to get the Raffle stuff going. About questions. So I kind of lost it here.
Yeah, well, personal project I think is the most expensive to do. Now, why are personal projects the most expensive? You might ask, because for the time that I do on client project, I can charge. For personal time, I can't charge that to anybody. So when I do my personal project, I find I take way too much time. It's like I'm trying to do one piece, and if this is for work, it would be finished already. But this is not for work. This is for myself, and it's for personal IP, and it could be anything, and that makes it almost impossible to do. And I'm just like struggling through my IP development and constantly thinking, no, this is gonna suck. I can't release this. This is retarded. But you have to understand the process goes for anyone, for any artist that wants to do personal work. It is incredibly difficult when you are the art director and you are the artist at the same time. Mm-hmm. When it can literally be anything, that's when you have to have discipline. You have to have a timeline and schedule. Basically, if you can treat your personal project with the same kind of professionalism and intensity that you do for work, that's a recipe for success, for getting noticed.
And also, too, sometimes you can get noticed. It doesn't have to be professional. Sometimes it's kind of putting yourself out there. I know a lot of artists that don't kind of treat it like that too, in the way where they kind of just do sketches and whatever. And it's just like It's just them to kind of just relax and do paintings and share it with the world with no expectations of, is this a personal piece? Is this a portfolio piece? They just share their stuff. So if
Yeah.
anything, it's just kind of making your presence known and share what you like to do. Do it. It doesn't have to be amazing. It doesn't have to be portfolio ready or something like that. I think it has to be something, and it has to be something that you care about. And I think as long as you have that kind of passion, then I think people will gravitate towards it too. So I think you have to make a choice too. Is like, do you want this to be some kind of cool portfolio piece that you want to, then make, or sometimes it's just like, do you want to just relax and not have to deal with those pressures of trying to impress people all the time? Sometimes it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna paint. Like right now, I'm painting like a cloud thing. I'm like, I don't care, right? This is like a stupid cloud piece. The composition's terrible. It's uninteresting, right? It's not like, it's like super generic, but I like doing it, and like they're fun to me. So I'm gonna keep doing it, and there's love in it, and that's all that I have to make. That's all that I can ask of myself is put love in it, and if there's love in it, whatever, then that to me is a good day. So if I don't like it and I hate it and I'm like, I'm doing it because it's just kind of impress people, then that to me becomes kind of an issue that I have to start evaluating, like, what do I really want to do.
Yeah. So someone quickly asked like if there's going to be Q&A sessions and like during the thing.
All
Yeah.
that.
So
We're gonna have time to ask questions, and we're gonna do portfolio reviews. We're gonna have giveaways. We're gonna be giving away prizes and stuff. You're gonna have all that stuff, guys. So please tell everyone you're gonna have a good time.
Spread the word.
spread the word.
Tell your friends. All right. Do you guys think it's time to announce one winner, and we can carry on with some questions to build up tension?
Oh
Let's
shoot.
do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait,
Okay.
did you get the winner, or do you want me to do it?
Well, let's actually we can make the site go live now, right? Is the site live already? Right?
The Eventbrite page?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Site is
about to
live.
press it. It's about to go live. So
Yeah. Let's
Hi.
do that. Let's
This
make
is
the site
exciting.
live. So that way, if you want to share the event and whatever to your friends, if anyone's going to be in the area, come on down.
So for those of you who just joined the stream, we are about to launch like super early bird ticket sales for the event in Toronto. So Zappy,
yes.
is it?
I pressed. It's live now. 1 second. I just need to get to it.
And on the website, do we have suggestions of where to stay hotel wise, and like how to, like, where to fly into, like all that kind of stuff? People want to fly to this event.
We have a general area or like a link to a Google map of like the area,
Yeah.
but nothing specific to hotels.
Yeah,
Not something
that's something we want to do too. Is
Yeah.
probably just look at some hotels in the area, some cheap hotels people could stay at. If people want to come out of town, I think that would be great too, just to give them some ideas, and then like what they want to fly, what airport they want to fly into, and that kind of stuff.
Right. But I will toss in if you click, I'm gonna post in the chat really quick the event page. If you go to like there's a button called map, and then you could click and it'll take you to where the venue is, and you can look up hotels around there if you're not a local. And we also have a page if you're not a local, like what you can do and what things to expect from Toronto while you're around the event. So
There you go.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
All right.
dope.
Let's do this.
Dope. All right.
Let's get that link going.
I'm gonna draw a winner now.
Okay, yeah.
Oh
Draw a
boy.
winner.
All right. You want a drum roll? Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Someone draw.
All right. And first winner. Oh shoot! It's actually one of our peers, Naomi Morimoto. Actually won a free ticket.
That is,
Yeah.
Congratulations.
He's like, F that guy. Okay.
So she gets a free ticket. I don't know if
Someone
she's
else
here.
said to
Well,
put the event page on the live stream description. I think it's a good idea too. When we're off.
yeah,
Yes. 1 second. Having a bit of technical issues.
no problem.
So
So that's our first winner. If you happen to be in the chat or in the stream, Naomi, we're gonna send you an email with stuff to do and like all that jazz. So,
Cool. And also, AJ,
Amazing.
I think Anthony Jones himself will be streaming, I think, end of this week, talk more about the event, stuff like that. So we'll be having plenty of streams from here to the event to kind of help build awareness and all that kind of stuff. So
Oh.
hopefully you guys will be around. We'll be doing all kinds of stuff.
All
Oh,
right.
there we go. So we
Yeah.
just Zabby just posted a link in the chat, and that's where ticket sales are up. But if you enter the raffle, you might win. So don't buy
There's
just
still one
yet.
more chance left.
What? Well, what do you mean?
Well, what do you mean?
We still got one more winner.
Yeah,
Right.
I know. There's still one more. I said.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
that's right.
okay.
Still one chance.
All right. So do we have any more questions? If not, then
It's time.
it's
No.
time.
Oh no.
Might be time.
Look at, do you
So
do drum roll?
actually, do you think so? For the people who who got in late, do you guys think you could talk about like what you might be saying or speaking about during the event? Like,
Yeah, so I'll be talking a little bit about kind of just I went through an art school. I went to art school, and I'll be talking about my experiences of going to art school, the good, the bad, the ugly, and just talking about what happened to me as an artist. And it will kind of be kind of from the perspective of looking back at myself and thinking, you know, if there were some things I could do differently, what I would do differently, and hopefully that can be applicable to people that are still in school or thinking about going to school. And then I'll be talking a lot about environment design, which is what I love to do. How I like to go about it, ways to approach it, all that kind of fun stuff. And I'll be doing some live painting, taking questions, all that kind of stuff. That's will be kind of what I'll be doing myself. I don't know what Frank, what's Frank doing? What's he doing?
Well, I think I would go back many years and start from the point where I was way in debt and not employed, and I want to sort of just highlight all the mistakes and all the struggles that I had to go through. But not we'll be there for way too long. But I just want to take out a few stories where for me it was pivotal in the choices I made, and some of the reasonings behind the choices and how I deal with art in general. Because I think for that long period of time, there are some experiences I think will be quite valuable for me to share with everyone who is going to do this for themselves. And other than that, it's just and talk a little bit about my ideologies on IP development. And
Yeah, I want to hear about your company. I want to hear about all
Yeah.
that. I want to hear
Yeah.
about that. That's what I want to hear about.
yeah, so I'll talk a little bit about my company too at the event, and generally a good jolly time. You guys will get to meet all the Crush people too.
oh
Yeah.
shoot, you're gonna be there?
Yeah, everyone's gonna be
Okay.
there, and you know what? I'm the worst artist here.
What?
I am the worst artist here. I can't even keep up.
Check that out.
That's why I'm now trying to be an art director, because one thing, I don't have the patience to paint a full piece myself, and the other thing is, man, it's just too much. There's too much to do.
Yeah.
So I want all the artists here to paint the stuff. They're so good.
I'm working for you. I like
They
that.
make me look good.
There you go.
Look at how humble he is. This is a true artist right here.
Frank, if someone wants to check out some of these artists, some of the work, where can they find your website for Crush? Where can they find the company website?
The website is crushvisual.com, but that's more of a portfolio, upward-facing site. But if you want to just check out our artworks, I mean, all of our artists on either ArtStation or Facebook, and
Yeah, or just the company in general. I'm kind of curious about it. Throw it in the chat. I'm sure people will want to see it and.
where the company is in general. Let me just type the
Throw
in.
the website. I'm sure you got like a website. I'd love to see the website and see all that stuff sometimes. Put it in the chat. Put it for people to see.
That's crushvisual.com.
His own company that runs his own company. You know, a little bit. You know. Crushvisual.com.
I'm trying to wing it. I'm trying to do this because we started the company. I started the company with two other partners with no money at all. Everyone was sort of in their slump. We were in our kind of lowest points in our both career and life-wise, and we were just like, you know what, this will not stand. This will not stand.
Exactly.
we got to do something about this.
That's
Because tell you what, I'm sick and tired of not having creative control, creative freedom. I'm sick and tired of being poor. I'm sick and tired of being nobody as an artist, I guess. You know, when you decide, when you take this job seriously, and you take this career seriously, for me, I want to work with such an intensity that just like nothing else matters. Nothing else besides work matters. Because this is the way to dig myself out of bad situations. I've depended on this for years. I've depended on my peers for bad stretches. And I think some of the stories might be very interesting for me to talk about. And you know what? This company is kind of like, it's sort of an idea, you know, it's an idea that we don't have to all be a certain way. You know, not all artists needs to be studio artists and working on one contract at a time. For me, I kind of that idea didn't sit well with me. I didn't want to just work on one contract at a time. I didn't even want to work on one contract for a long period of time because I'll get bored.
Right.
I'm kind of like constant and need new and more exciting things to work on because I want to learn new things. I want to learn things that's more, you know, out there and this and that. But it sounds kind of out there, but I guarantee you it's very practical. The day-to-day life of running a company is so practical.
A lot of different stories and art stuff, like art tips, and it's going to be a wide variety. Like
man,
you're gonna have a good time. That's what we definitely strive for. Yeah. So are we ready for the next, the last one?
Yeah. So we're gonna announce one more winner, and then we'll take one more question. Which
we'll do a lightning round question, then we'll call it a day. Let's.
All right. I want to get the drum roll going.
Roll.
Let's go. All right. And there is
Reyes. Okay.
Oh wait, no. Corey
What?
Shillingford.
What?
From
No way!
Oakville.
Don't give it to that guy.
Oh,
I know
what?
that guy. He's one of my students. Is Corey in here? Oh no!
Oh
boy.
no,
Give it to Corey.
This is rigged.
Oh,
This
no.
entire thing is rigged.
Oh, no.
this is so rigged. Yo, do I win one?
Corey was one of my students with my mentorship, and hopefully, I mean, I'm kind of glad that he got a ticket 'cause I get to meet him. But he was doing some. Oh, there he is, dude. He was doing some great work in my class, and hopefully, actually, you'll probably have to meet this guy, Frank. He was doing his own little story. And the artwork was pretty badass, and I was like, dude, because he was doing it in my class, and I'm like, what's this for? And he's like, oh, it's just the idea I had, and I'm like, dude, you should really make this into a thing. And he spent his whole time in my class doing that, and next thing you know, the dude's getting like an internship and stuff, and he's crushing it. So
That's sick, man.
good to see it. So congratulations to Corey, dude.
Hey,
Congrats, Corey.
Yeah, you better have that project done, bro, when I come, man. All that stuff. So
All right.
very, very awesome. That's so funny that he won.
I know. My God. Like.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. Corey mentioned that. I actually met some people in Barcelona that knew who you were. There were two people that were going to school in Barcelona as like a study abroad program, and I was like, hey, you know Corey? And he's like, yeah, I know Corey. I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. It's a small world, man. It's so crazy how small this industry is. People just know. So very, very fun.
So
yeah, any more last minute questions or anything like that? Questions, suggestions, like.
Oh shoot, I lost who wrote the question, but Third Malice wrote, how did you meet your partners and what made them join you or something like that, something along the lines of that.
That's very cheekily typed in the chat that I kidnapped them, but that wouldn't be so far from the truth. I think it's easier when everyone already had the idea, but we just need to be together in one room talking about it.
Right.
And the more we talked about it, the more excited we got and be like, you know what? This might actually work. This might actually make sense.
Right.
And all it took was for me to take it very seriously and to go follow through with all the business side. I'm not going to go into depth about any of the stuff, but it really again, networking networking is so important because when you meet like-minded people, they can enable things for you. Something that's very hard for you to do alone. When you get 2 or 3 more people who think like you do, the problem might be a little bit easier to solve as a collective whole. So to find partners is the same way. You just need proper, honest networking. And I mean, I went to school with these people, so it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what school is.
So if you're going to school, take a very good look at the people around you, and maybe some of them will end up working with you.
Yeah, that's what school. That's what school is. You know, if anything, the school was very, very expensive. One thing I will definitely say I got was a lot of networks that are all my personal friends to this day, and those are people that I call family now that I can always rely on in a time of need. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah, look at the Naughty Dog bunch of guys. They were in school together.
Oh shit.
And they got picked up by Rob, and that
Oh,
was now they're like the most badass concept art team out there.
I know.
It's all because they sat together, they painted together, they shared techniques, and they got great direction, and that's just recipe for gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing with like the Guild Wars, like all like the Kekai and all those guys. They all went to school at the AI.
Shoot. I don't know.
I don't know, or somewhere like that. But yeah, the same exact thing. Like, hey, dude, you hang around the right people. Sometimes just hanging around the right people can be a recipe for success. Sometimes in itself.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I never actually got to hear the story of how you met Anthony or John or whatever.
Well, AJ. Well, actually, it's funny. I will save that story because you'll hear. It's actually part of my talk. So.
Oh shoot! Okay.
Look at that,
Oh,
guys.
look at
The
that,
teaser.
yeah.
It's funny too because I have a little cartoon drawing of it. It's kind of a little comic strip, and it's pretty silly. You'll be at least entertained by how that went about. But I did meet AJ in school, and that a simple meeting of someone, just can change your life. Can send your life in a completely different direction. You know what I mean? I think that's crazy how simple those things are. That you meet one person in your life in terms of school or just in general, and all of a sudden your life goes a completely different direction.
Yeah.
And that's what this event is about, because this event could be that. You could someone at this event that had you had not met before, or you meeting them at this place can send your life in a completely positive direction that you wouldn't normally even think about. So that's what students will get from this.
Absolutely.
Same here. Like my life changed the moment I met Denzel when he introduced me to digital art.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it was 8 years ago. Like in grade 7, I see this little kid just working on the computer. Yeah, you were little.
Oh, all right.
And that on its own just made me not quit art. I was curious about digital arts because of him. And
hey, you're not a real artist unless you want to quit at least once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Everybody wants to quit.
Oh yeah, it crossed my mind many times before.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's all the time that we're gonna spend today. Thank you so much for coming out, you two.
Yes.
It was great having you on.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, and like everyone at the stream, thank you for being here. And if you're not in Toronto, again, like there's a whole page dedicated to people who aren't in Toronto on our website, and we really want to see you. We want to meet you. We want to make friends. So come out, come on down. Our ticket sales are live right now. We could put in the link again. And, what do you have to say?
And this is just one of the many events we'll be having, kind of leading up to this. So we'll definitely have some more streams in the future. Hopefully, I'm gonna figure out some times where we can get, because Jamaro and JP are busy making Hearthstone Overwatch, so they're on Blizzard time right now. But if it's cool with the stream, we'll have to have it a little bit later. But if we can get them on a weekend or something like that, have a little stream, we can talk, chill out and paint. We'd love to have them on the stream because they're going to be giving some demos and talking. We can do all that kind of stuff and promote it some more. And AJ will be doing some stuff on the Robot Pencil stream, and we'll be doing that as well, kind of promoting the event and just hanging out with the people, So
yeah, so
that's cool. So yeah, dude. Well, thank you guys all so much for coming. really, really cool. I'm glad we got some good numbers out there. And please, just someone asked if there was a donation part of our page. I don't think we have one.
Oh no, we don't.
Oh, it's a work in process. It will be
Yeah,
there.
work in process. Good idea, by the way.
Work in yeah.
Getting this event going. If I understand not everyone has money, and that's cool. So like, if all you can do is just share the event, you know.
Yeah,
That's all.
that's the main thing that we need. We need people
Yeah.
to like. We need to spread the word
And,
about this.
Kev Chen asked, is going to be on Twitch. We were just talking about this actually before we started the stream, that we're looking at possibly doing some kind of option where people can pay a discounted price and they can watch it online. But it's our first time doing it, so we're not sure
Right.
how we would do that.
It's
Yeah.
and this is probably something we had to have planned for in advance. So
Yeah, plan for an event. So that could be something in the future, but we'll see about maybe having a online feature type situation. Which now that I think about it, actually, it could actually be done because all you have to do is just have like a webcam, and then the webcam could kind of be like the person talking, and then you just have the stream. So that actually
Oh.
could.
maybe.
Now that I think about it. So
Could.
Could be.
Yeah, once we figure out a solid way to do it, we will announce it and we'll show you.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we don't want to do it just for the
Yeah.
sense of like kind of break even. We want to make sure if we're going to do it, it's going to be getting what you want out of it. So that's definitely a good suggestion. And now we have some time to think about it because we don't have it until September. So
Right.
we're kind of work it out if we can. So
In the meantime, guys, spread the word. We appreciate every single help we can get.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Buy a ticket or don't.
Or don't, or just share the event, or come through. Don't meet us or hang outside of the event, whatever.
No one
whatever.
can tell you what to do.
exactly.
Or email us any suggestions you have.
Any suggestions? Exactly. This is your event, guys. So
Yeah.
please,
That's true.
the more you help us out, the more we can make this thing awesome. But I just want to say thank you, Denzel, Frank, Zabi, for doing this. This is awesome. You know, you guys could possibly the like a simple idea is now becoming reality, and who knows what might become of this. So
Yeah.
I'm
we're
psyched.
really excited. Roll Pencil's really excited to be working with you guys. I know JP is excited, and I know Jamal's excited to be going up to Toronto. So we're all pumped. So I can't wait. So let's keep it going until then. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you
man.
so much,
And
guys.
bro, it's such a good time chatting with you and everyone here. Thanks
Yeah.
so much for asking the questions. And all in all, good time, eh?
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
We'll see
we're
you guys in
definitely
the next stream then, yeah.
ending on a high note.
Yeah.
Alright.
For sure.
All right.
Alright. We'll catch you guys later. See you at the event. Alright. So get out. Get out of here.
Out of here.
Everybody bail.
Bail, bail.